I've got the spline cut in here now, as you can see. I did that with the biscuit jointer, and I've got it sloped. It's sloped here at the end, so I used the chisel to get that out. I'm going to use a 10mm chisel. Now the action of a chisel is always, it's never sideways or this way or that way or whatever. It's always vertical. When you're doing for mortising, it's always vertical. So what I like to do is, I like to just come back here a little bit, and you keep the chisel vertical all the time. And just for holding the chisel, you always hold the chisel in a position like so, where your second finger is down, holding the chisel at the bottom. The blade is always in front of it, so you're never going to get cut. What does that do? It allows you to position and to control the movement of the chisel, but it also keeps it vertical from the point of view of its centre of gravity. So you can feel its centre of gravity, so that's the position you hold it in. You come back onto the mortise here, you can't see it on camera here. You face the cutter or you face the bevel forward, and as you move forward, you can't see it on camera again, but the chisel will actually, when I tap it this time, it'll move back and it'll break the chip that I've just tapped. So I come forward like that. I just give it one chop, only one. And as I come to the limit, I literally turn the chisel around. You stay vertical. Okay, I'm going to come back now. I'm just going to keep tapping back that way. And that's driving the chip forward all the time. So this time the chisel is going forward. Every time I tap that, the chisel will go forward because the bevel is driving the chip out in front of it. So it's a forward, it's a vertical movement, I mean. And you're just holding the chisel, you're using the balance there, your finger, to check the balance. And that's the action of the chisel itself. And I just make sure, you'll find that the last cut is perfectly vertical. Now it is okay then afterwards to take it out, to remove the chaff or the chips there. Okay, and we've got to go down about 10mm, so I've got to do a second chop like that to get down to the depth of to the biscuit jointer cut. So again, I just move forward again, same procedure, and just nice and gently tap away. And as I get to the limit, turn the chisel around, take small cuts at a time. Don't hit the chisel twice, just tap it once. You can use a mallet for this as well. And again, just clean out the waste material there. Don't ever go to the back there now and damage the shoulder by prising it that way, because you'll damage the actual shoulder line you've just created. I can see that slightly off 90 degrees. I'm able to visually see 90 degrees. I don't need to go checking it with a square. So I just put that, make that 90. Still not there. I'm just going to keep going back until I get that right. Very close to it now. And I'll use my inch chisel then just to square the shoulder there, or to square it to full width. Oh, my clamp is off. Okay, we'll just hold that there again now. You'll notice I have a board in under it there again, stop the rail or the back leg, excuse me, from getting damaged or getting marked. So I need to chisel out another little bit here. I'm still not deep enough. That's a fraction more. And turn around for the last cut and stay vertical, holding the chisel low. So just take out that chaff there now. Just remove the waste material. That looks sweet enough for me. Down to the bottom of the trench. And the same thing here. I'm just going to work from the centre again and just work backwards here. And as I come back closer to the limit here, I just turn the chisel around for the last two chops, holding the chisel low, keep it assuming 90 degrees all the time at the corner there. I'm a little bit out. It's easy to go back and redo that. And I just take out the material there without, I don't want to damage the shoulder there. Oh, just give another little persuasion here now. It's nice and gently all the time. No need for brute force. It's controlled action all the time when you're taking out. It's effectively a mortise. Now, I normally put a second clamp there, but it'd be in the way of the camera. So I can put, listen, just for control here, I'm just going to tap. The clamp isn't as good as I'd like it to be now, but anyway. Now I'm nearly there with the actual depth of it. I don't want to damage anything on the sides because this particular strip will be seen. So I need it as sharp as a pin. That's it. I can feel it coming out. I just want to prize that. I'm always conscious there when your hand is in front of a chisel. It's not great practice. Not good practice at all, actually. I always taught never put your hand in front of a sharp tool. So we go down there, vertical wall. Just make sure the wall is nice and clean there. Just make sure now that I'm nice and clean down there. So rather than describing the actions of the chisel or the way I'm holding it, just best look at my hand positions. I'll explain that at a later date in another little video on hand tools and their proper uses. Okay, so a little bit there. It's a knot I'm going into, that's why it's a little bit troublesome. Just remove the waste here. A knot doesn't have grain in any specific direction. It has grain in every direction all at once. Okay, now I'm good enough at that. I'm happy. The angle here is just a little bit off the 90. I can see it, I can smell it. Okay. And I'm just going to slightly undercut that surface. In other words, I'm going to turn this at a little angle like so, and I'm just going to undercut it so that the joint becomes crisp at the bottom on the end grain, because it's an end grain finish. Now I'm all done and dusted with that. So what I do then is I go back and I put my clamp back on it. I had the clamp on it back here, yes. So I put my clamp back in position here. Now, something not right there. Okay, some of the waste actually got into the broken joint there. So what we're going to do now is just clamp that joint. You can see that joint there, it's completely fractured. So we're going to clamp that for the present time. We'll get that now to close in nice and snugly. Okay, that's as good as I can get it. And now this is my spline. That's the piece I have for it here. So, would you believe I got a hole in one. So the piece is just cut accurately right first time. So I'm ready to glue that. Now that's just pure bloody luck. That's the way it worked out. I had another one here. That's a bit shorter, so this one is good. This one is absolutely perfect. Now you notice the joint isn't tight. It's not meant to be tight. There's no play in it either. It's just meant to sit in. The glue sits all around it. If it's too tight, it'll starve the joint glue, and that's a disaster. That's not what we want at all. Now, I'm going to go back to simple, basic tactics from years ago. Just simple stuff here. So what I'm going to do is get my glue. Now this is a piece of mahogany I'm putting into it. It's Brazilian mahogany, so it should match. It'll be easy to colour. Brazilian mahogany is top quality mahogany. Now, I want to get in there to the broken part. So the way of doing that, literally, is just put plenty of glue on it there. I'm going to put plenty of glue on it there. And a very, very simple way of doing this is literally blow it in. Now I do that on all four sides of the chair, so I just blow glue into it there. I can worry about that side when I come back to it. I'll just do the opposite side here now next. And I just now you can see the glue blown in there. I get it onto the front. Whoops. And I'll just open that joint as best I can, cake the glue onto it there, just force it in to the joint there, and give it a blow again. And that's it, that's all I have to do. Now I have a wet cloth there somewhere, which is better. Here we go. Now that'll glue the knot back into position. It's the original joint. We'll joint it back to what it was originally. So we put this back down on here. Now in this case, we put back on our clamp. That's next. Back on this guy. As you can probably notice, there's different stages to the repair. So we just take them one at a time, break it down as we go along. I want that joint really tight. Well, not over tight. Don't want to squeeze out all the glue anymore. Okay, so that's the notch. You can see the residue coming out there. That's the old joint, the original joint. That's as good as it'll come back. It's closed as much as it's going to be closed. So we pop that down there again, and then with glue we get back the spline. We were fully, the spline that fitted properly there. That was the one. So we glue up the mortise for all intents and purposes here. That's that guy. Okay, put plenty of glue in that now. And I glue my spline, glue the end grain, just to close up the joint, seal up the joint on the end. And just the same here. Now probably putting a little bit too much glue in it there, don't need all that glue in it. So I'll scrape off some. Now it's not a good idea to put all glue back into the glue pot, so just call it waste. We pop that guy in there then. We'll tap it down. Now I put a clamp on that as well, but for the moment it's clamped in its height. That's good, so that fixes the old joint. So I got the spline in there now. That's a piece of Brazilian mahogany, so we'll have to get a colour match for the back leg when we're done. And we're going to leave that to dry then. So what I'm going to do with this is just put it up on edge there for a moment. Let it just sit there. We'll wipe off the surface glue. Okay, so my joint is as good as I'm going to get there. I just get a little clamp now, quick clamp, I put on that. Take this one. I can rob Peter and pay Paul here. So we're just going to come out over the edge there. I put one of these guys on here. Not really necessary, but we put it on just for a bit of insurance. Now if you're doing chair repair, these little clamps I'm putting on it there, they're not expensive at all, and they actually, I get them from the discount stores. They're ideal for little works like this. Now they don't have huge pressure ability, but for little jobs like this they're absolutely perfect. Now any glue that's squeezing out, you can take it off now if you wish. Remember, when a surface is polished, glue won't stick to it anyway, but you don't want to pull off the polished colour off the piece. Now that's the major repair done there. That's the spline done. Spline gone into the back of it there, as you can see on camera. Clamp fixing the original joint, the spline gone in, so that'll give it all the strength it needs for its future. Now the holes are the next thing to deal with there, and I have to leave this one to go on dry. So the holes will need to be cleaned and drilled properly. So I'll just show you a little technique I have for drilling them without damaging the surface of the wood. I can't do it now because everything's clamped, so what I'll do is I'll just leave that to one side and I'll come back to it tomorrow, and then we can finish out the chair completely tomorrow. So over and out for now.